16 and this is Devaraja Mayuran with the news highlights of today's English dailies for Athavan News. Let me first take a quick look at the news highlights of today's Daily Mirror. New constitution will fulfill aspiration of our people, says President. The constitution will be transformed to strengthen the hopes and meet the aspiration and desires of the people where Sri Lanka failed to meet during the post-conflict period after the end of the war, President Maithripala Sirisena said yesterday. And the news says President pardons men who attempted to assassinate him. President Maithripala Sirisena met the former LTTE cadre convicted on charges of attempting to assassinate him in 2006 and granted him a presidential pardon during the national celebration at the BMICH to mark the president's first year in office. Another news to add on the top says AG directs CID to arrest Hirunika. Attorney General Joanjan Vanasundara Vijayatilaka yesterday ordered the arrest of Colombo District UNF MP Hirunika Premachandra over an abduction of a person last month. The news below it says talks with live events fails, CMC goes ahead with lawsuit. The Colombo municipality has decided to take legal action against live events, the company which organized the Enrique Iglesias concert at the CR and FC grounds in Colombo, after both parties failed to reach a settlement even after several rounds of talks, officials said. Another news says will make Lanka the smart nation in South Asia, says Prime Minister. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe yesterday said the consensual government will take an important step today to make Sri Lanka the smart nation of South Asia by taking the first step to introduce a new constitution. The news beside it says converting parliament to constitutional assembly, resolution to be debated in House today. The resolution to convert Parliament into Constitutional Assembly will be taken up for debate by the House during the special session which will begin at 10:30 am today. Another news says it's nothing but political revenge, says Gotha. Former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa said on Thursday that he was summoned by the FCID, PRISIFAC and the Bribery and Corruption Commission last year not to investigate fraud and corruption but to take political revenge. With that story, I just moved to the news highlights of Daily News. AG writes to Colombo Crimes Division, arrest Hirunika. Daily News writes its headline. The Attorney General has directed the Police Colombo Crimes Division to arrest UNP parliamentarian Hirunika Premachandra in connection with the alleged abduction of a youth in Dematakoda. Authoritative sources from the Attorney General's department told the Daily News that the Attorney General instructed the police to arrest the parliamentarian on Thursday night. The news on the right of the headline says UN Chief congratulates President. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon yesterday congratulated President Maithripala Sirisena and the government and the people of Sri Lanka on the first year of the country's political transition. The Secretary General said that he was encouraged by the government's commitment to a broad reform agenda that aims to realize durable peace, stability and prosperity of the Sri Lankan people. The news below it says establishment of Constitutional Assembly, PM to table proposal in Parliament today. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe will table the proposal of the establishment of a Constitutional Assembly for the formulation of a draft constitution when Parliament meets today. President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe will also make special statements in Parliament after the proposal is tabled in the House. The proposal is expected to be taken for adoption after members of both the ruling party and opposition expressed their views. Secretary General of the Parliament, Dhammika Dasanayake, said a committee comprising members and ministers will be established after the Parliament adopted the proposal. And the news says illegal money collection for grade 1 admission, Education Ministry requests parents to comply. An Education Ministry spokesman requested parents to bring to the notice of the ministry regarding illegal money collection for grade 1 admission for various development and infrastructure development projects, including building constructions. It has been revealed that authorities of several schools countrywide are collecting money violating Education Ministry circulars specially issued on the banning of illegal money collection in schools. Another news says, my prime aim is to take country forward, says President. President Maithripala Sirisena yesterday stressed that his prime duty is to take the country forward, aiming a better future. He said he does not have any personal agendas. I firmly believe that I am duty-bound to carry out the agenda of the entire nation, the president said. Another news says, court issues notices on 8 more HNDA students. 8 students attached to the Higher National Diploma in Accountancy were yesterday noticed to appear in court on May 20 by the Colombo Chief Magistrate for allegedly organizing a protest rally opposite the Higher Education Ministry on October 28 last year after being members of unlawful assembly. The news below it says the government will be compelled to print money to bridge budget deficit. The government will be compelled to resort to the printing of money this year to bridge the escalating budget deficit despite claims to the contrary by Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake, said parliamentarian Bandula Gunawardena. And the story says Mahinda Rajapaksa tells SLF peers don't vote for those who divided party. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa yesterday requested SLFP members not to vote for those who divided the Sri Lanka Freedom Party by crossing over to various other parties at the upcoming local government election. He said that the SLF peers should vote for those who remained with the party. The news at the bottom with the picture says sudden strike over arrest of bus crew. Crew of all buses starting from Katunayaka staged a sudden strike demanding the release of a conductor and a driver arrested by the police for allegedly abusing a female employee of the Katunayaka Export Processing Zone. The police said the employee's husband, who was also on board of the bus plying on the Gambaha Katunayaka road, had allegedly assaulted the conductor and driver after she told him about the incident. To wrap up the newspapers, let me have a quick look at the news highlights of Ceylon today. Pardoned assassin at President's event. President Maithripala Sirisena yesterday granted a special presidential pardon to ex-LT team member Sivaraja Jaganathan, who attempted to kill him in Polanaruva. Jaganathan's attendance at the BMICH event commemorating Sirisena's presidential election victory was the backdrop against which the president shook hands with the youngster and granted him a pardon in person too. Counsel URD Silva, who appeared Thursday for Sivaraja Jaganathan, who was earlier sentenced to 10 years rigorous imprisonment by the Colombo High Court for an attempt to assassinate President Sirisena, submitted to the Court of Appeal that he had come to know the President Sirisena had decided to extend a presidential pardon to his client. Pro-Ranil factions slam Dasari, urge strong action immediately. Public criticism of a proposal by Premier Ranil Wickremesinghe by Sports Minister Dayasri Jayasekara has raised the anger of several ministers and MPs who want immediate disciplinary action against Jayasekara. And the news says Eknalikoda abduction and killing, 2 more military men to be arrested. The Criminal Investigation Department is expected to shortly apprehend 2 more army personnel allegedly linked to the abduction of journalist Prageet Eknalikoda. And the news says Lasantha remembered. An event marking the 7th death anniversary of journalist Lasantha Wickrematunge was held at his graveside at the General Cemetery, Barolla. The event was attended by the family members of the late journalist as well as ministers and MPs. Finally, a news says police red alert not heeded. Sinhalay gang attacks Juma Masjid devotees. An unidentified gang which arrived in a 3-wheeler with the slogan Sinhalay painted on it has assaulted devotees at the Juma Masjid in Valampitia around 9 p.m. on Thursday, Valampitia police said. With that story I just wind up. News like these and more will come on your way tomorrow too. Join us tomorrow. Have a nice day. Goodbye.